So let me get this straight. In a world where most people struggle to reverse a U-Haul, there's a truck so long it stretches across football fields. Not figuratively, literally. A mechanical monster made of steel, torque, and pure Aussie chaos designed to move the impossible across the most unforgiving terrain on Earth. It's not just a road train, it's the road train, the longest one ever built. And it's not a myth, it's real, and it still runs. Australia doesn't mess around when it comes to road trains. These aren't oversized delivery trucks or flashy highway cruisers. They're machines bred in the outback, part freight hauler, part survivalist, part land crawler. And when you hear the phrase longest road train ever, we're not talking about 5, 6, or even 10 trailers. We're talking dozens. In 2006, near Clifton, Queensland, an absolutely unhinged beast of a Kenworth C501 was linked to a mind-blowing 112 trailers. That's over 1,400 feet of pure articulated chaos. The longest road train to ever hit asphalt. Just let that sink in. This wasn't some parked stunt for show either. It moved. It drove. To pull that much weight, even just to make it budge, you need more than horsepower. You need strategy, engineering, nerves of steel, and a whole lot of open road. This wasn't built for urban deliveries or Instagram likes. This was a statement, a flex from the outback to the world saying, yeah, we haul bigger than you, and we're not sorry about it. But to understand why someone would build something this extreme, you've got to understand the land it was born in. Australia's interior is not a place for amateurs. With brutal heat, scarce water, and towns sometimes hundreds of miles apart, freight has to move efficiently, and that means long. Road trains aren't just cool-looking juggernauts, they're economic lifelines. It's cheaper, faster, and more reliable to attach multiple trailers to a single prime mover and send it hurtling through the dust than it is to split the load across 10 trucks. Out there, every stop costs time, every turn burns fuel, and every failure is potentially fatal. So yeah, longer is better. The Kenworth C501 that pulled the record-breaking train wasn't stock either. This thing was a rolling tank, powered by a Cummins Signature 600 engine, built to tow weights that would leave most trucks sobbing in a ditch. With reinforced axles, custom fab frames, and a suspension system beefed up to ridiculous levels, it wasn't just ready for the load, it was laughing at it. And before you ask, no, this monster wasn't street legal, not for everyday runs. This was a special test of what was mechanically possible, done in a controlled setting on a closed-off stretch of road. But that doesn't make it any less jaw-dropping. Even under ideal conditions, driving a 100-plus trailer rig isn't just a technical feat, it's psychological. You're not driving a truck, you're commanding a steel serpent. Every trailer wants to move differently. Every gust of wind is amplified by the surface area of 100 swinging boxes. Even a slight curve in the road becomes a math problem. And don't even think about reversing. That record-breaking pull lasted just a few miles, but it shattered expectations. It proved something nobody wanted to say out loud, that there really isn't a limit to what these machines can do, as long as you've got the space, the torque, and the guts. And Australia, it's got plenty of all three. But what about the real world? Are there road trains that long actually working out there today? Not quite. The practical working limit tends to top out around 4 trailers, called quad road trains, used regularly in mining, livestock transport, and fuel delivery across remote regions. Still massive, still dangerous, but just manageable enough for day-to-day operations, and even those are no joke. Fully loaded, a quad road train can weigh in at over 200 tons. That's enough steel and cargo to crush a tank, and somehow they stay on the road. It takes a special kind of driver to command one of these beasts, not just because of the size, but because of the stakes. You're often driving through soft dirt, steep grades, washed out tracks, and 45 degrees Celsius heat. Add in flies, kangaroos, flooded creeks, and the occasional bushfire, and you've got a job description that reads more like a survival guide. These drivers don't just shift gears, they navigate chaos. They drive with one eye on the trailer, one ear on the radio, and both hands gripping a steering wheel that could double as a ship's helm. There's something primal about the sound of a road train firing up before dawn, that low, snarling rumble echoing through the red dust. It's not just starting an engine, it's waking a beast, and when that beast starts rolling, it doesn't stop for much. Quad trailer rigs, stretching nearly 170 feet long, thunder across the outback like freight trains without tracks. And they're not doing it for fun. These machines are moving fuel, ore, food, and livestock through some of the harshest terrain on Earth. And there's no plan B. You don't drive one of these monsters casually. Before the engine roars, before the tires roll, there's the checklist. Brake tests, suspension checks, coupling inspections, tire pressure across dozens of wheels, one bad hose, one weak weld, and you're stranding 200 tons of freight in a dust bowl with no help for 300 kilometers. And guess what? Help isn't coming, because out here, there is no backup, just you, the truck, and the road. If you can call it that, most of these rigs are running routes through Australia's mining corridors, places with names like Nullagine, Mount Isa, and Port Hedland, towns that exist only because the road trains feed them. Without those deliveries, everything stops. Literally, the lights go out, the pumps go dry, the stores close. So when that 10-wheeler and its trailers come barreling down a dusty track in 45-degree heat, it's not just hauling goods, it's hauling survival. And don't think these drivers are just brutes behind a wheel. They're engineers, mechanics, navigators, crisis managers. Out here, CB radio chatter can be the difference between making it through a flooded crossing or sinking your rig axle deep in muck. They know which sand patches are soft, which bends hide washouts, and which bridges rattle a little too much under weight. Most of them could rebuild half their truck blindfolded, because when things go wrong, and they will, there's no AA. There's just you, some spare parts, and whatever tools you didn't forget to bring. These trucks aren't babied either. The dust gets everywhere. It grinds down components like sandpaper. The heat cooks tires. Road trains eat fuel like a jet engine. Some quads burning nearly 2 liters per kilometer. And still, they keep moving, because time is everything. If the mines don't get their explosives on time, operations stall. If a remote fuel depot runs dry, the generators cut out. If livestock isn't moved before the heat spike, animals die. Every second matters. And out here, those seconds are bought with diesel and discipline. And don't even think about making a tight turn. These rigs aren't city trucks. They're long, segmented metal snakes with minds of their own. Drivers plan their turns miles in advance. Some remote intersections even require satellite coordination, so 2 road trains don't meet head on. You want to back one up, you'd better cancel the rest of your week. Every maneuver is calculated. Every moment behind the wheel is focused, because one mistake could mean a 150-foot long jackknife and hundreds of thousands of